Do you have any idea what these materials here have in common? Well, there are plenty of reasons why we want our amigurumis to stand on their own. We want to make amazing pictures of them, create content to post on our social media. Maybe you want to display your products in a market fair to sell them, or you simply want them decorating your shelf. Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I am Bianca from Crocheters, and in today's video I'll share 7 amazing and very simple tips to make your amigurumi stand alone for all the purposes that I mentioned before. So tip number 1, use a doll base. This one here I bought in AliExpress and it's very simple, it's very light actually. It would be interesting to wave this, but this is very simple. It's just a wooden base with like a needle. It's very sharp here, but it's very simple. You can simply stick your amigurumi here and it will be standing on its own. It may be useful to put in a shelf or display in market fairs, as I said before. Actually, to display in market fairs, this one is very interesting, but you can also do that at home. I don't have the proper materials here with me to do that. That's why I bought them in AliExpress. I can leave the link for this product in the description in case you get interested in it. But I have friends who did this at home. You just have like to cut a wooden base and stick a needle or a wire in the middle of the wood, so that way you have the amigurumi standing on its own. I have another example here. You see this doll, actually she stands on its own by herself, but I'll talk about it later in the video. And I will remove so you can see there are 2 different styles in AliExpress that you can find, and I bought both because it serves different purposes. You saw that the other one with the doll, and of course the doll has 2 legs, so I stick like each leg in a different needle and it looks nice. But in case you have different types of amigurumis, I don't know, like this one, this is my beautiful mushroom, and oops, sorry, but maybe you have a different type of amigurumi, and of course the other one with 2 needles would work. But in this case I can simply stick my amigurumi like this and I can display it in a market fair, for example. Tip number 2, a doll holder. And I did an extensive research on AliExpress to buy one. Honestly, the ones that I wanted to buy, the shipping costs were too expensive for me, and that's why I didn't buy them. But I found this one, which was very cheap in AliExpress. And honestly, again, I just bought this because I wanted to show the different possibilities to you, and I wanted to demonstrate the doll holder. But if I have to compare this doll holder with this doll base here, I do prefer the doll base. Although if you're thinking like you want to display it at home and you have kids, I don't know, maybe this one is safer because there is no needle, it's not pointy, and this one can be a bit dangerous. So this doll holder here is very simple. It's made of plastic, and that's why I said I didn't like it that much, but it was cheap and serves the purpose that I have here for this video. This part opens and you can adjust to the size of the amigurumi, the size of the doll. I just put my beautiful seahorse Mackenzie here in the doll holder so you could see how can we use that. And you'll see that it is possible to see the part that it holds the amigurumi, and that's why I didn't like that one that much. While the other doll base, since it's a needle stick in the amigurumi, you don't see that in the end. I would never use this one for photos, for example. If your purpose is to take good pictures to post on social media and advertise your products, I would not use this type of holder here. But in case you're selling your products in market fairs, this can be very good because this one, since it's made of plastic, it's cheaper and you can buy more of this type of holder. And you can display the amigurumis very beautifully in a market fair. So for that reason, I think this doll holder here serves the purpose for like market fairs, but not for pictures in social media. Additionally, I have to say that although I didn't like this doll holder that much, it's serving me the purpose for Mackenzie. My dolls are usually smaller than Mackenzie, so that's why I don't use for the dolls themselves. But for this amigurumi, it's actually pretty good. So in case you have different souls of amigurumis with you, this may be very good, especially to place in the shelf. And you can see that I can put it here, and everyone who gets to my apartment will see Mackenzie here in my shelf. Tip number 3, use bins. Well, this tip number 3 is especially good if you want to take pictures, okay? Because maybe you don't have one of these at home and you don't want to spend your money buying those things. Pins are very, very good to help your amigurumi stand on its own. It demands patience to balance the amigurumis and the pins, believe me, but it is a good strategy for taking pictures. I have seen many posts on Instagram and social media that this technique is highly used among crocheters around the world when it comes to taking good pictures of the amigurumis. Tip number 4. The pattern was designed so the doll could stand alone. Well, if you already know my work, almost all my dolls are designed to stand alone. And once it was very funny because a girl came to me saying that it was a miracle that the dolls were standing on their own. But it's not a miracle. I studied quite a long time to get to this result. And of course, there are lots of study in it. And there is a logical explanation why it happens. I mean, it's not a miracle. Designed for its purpose, and it's not about the feet of the doll. It's not only regarding this specific part of the amigurumi. It's a whole balance, but I'm getting there. Something very, very important when it comes to having the doll standing alone with a pattern designed for this purpose, we have to pay attention on stuffing. Again, Bianca, stuffing, you always talk about it. Yeah, I am talking about stuffing again. And there is a video here in the channel where I teach some important things to keep in mind when stuffing the amigurumis. And there is one specific part of this video that I really show how to stuff an amigurumi and have the amigurumi standing on its own. And you can understand what I'm talking about here. Because if you think about our own feet, human beings, our feet is not rounded, our feet is flat. So there is a reason why you have to stuff the amigurumi correctly to have it standing on its own. If you put too much stuffing, it will be bloated, it will have a round shape at the bottom, and it will not stand on its own, like our feet. Kind of obvious, right? So now you might be asking yourself, and I'll mention it because I received this question before, and it was a very, very good question indeed, and that's why I'm going to answer it to everyone right now. Is it possible to change just the feet, just the base of a random amigurumi pattern, change it with stuffing and things like that, to have the doll standing on its own, although it was not designed for that purpose? My answer for you is probably not. I cannot say like no or yes. I cannot give 100% precise answer in this at this point, but I have to say that probably not, because the whole balance of the amigurumi is designed for that purpose. When I create an amigurumi doll that I want to stand on its own, I have to think about the balance, the arms, the head, the hair, all the accessories. Think about ourselves again, human beings, okay? If you wear like a heavy backpack, what will happen to you? I don't want to talk about my weight. Yeah, I will not talk about it. But let's suppose I put a heavy backpack that's almost my weight. Do you think I'm going to be able to stand like on my own? Probably not. Probably I'll fall on the floor. Like cartoons, we always see that in cartoons when they put like heavy backpacks and they fell on the floor because it loses balance. And the same thing happens to the amigurumis. So if the doll was not designed for that purpose, it's not intended to stand on its own, just by changing the feet, it doesn't mean that you will get the result that you want in the end. I don't know if I'm making myself clear, I hope I am, but just keep in mind that everything is designed with a purpose, and the person who is designing the pattern is thinking about that. Everything is carefully designed to have, to achieve a specific goal. So, and it goes beyond just the feet, you know? So I do have some techniques and there are some tricks, but there are also some steps that we have to follow to reach this specific goal. Tip number 5. Well, tip number 5 is very simple. Maybe you don't want to sell your products, or actually I have seen beautiful pictures of it, of this style, but I'll mention what it is. You can simply put the amigurumis like standing on a shelf next to some books, for example, or next to a wall. And it's very beautiful, especially if you want to decorate your home or your child's bedroom, for example. I have some friends who are designers, and all the pictures that they take are like this, next to some books and plants and things like that. It's part of their style, and it's super beautiful in the end. You can take pictures of the amigurumis like that and post on social media. It's a possibility. And also decorate your home, and it's perfect. Of course, you won't be able to, you have like a stand to display the amigurumis, so it's not possible for sure, but for decoration purposes, it works really well. Well, if you're still here with me in this video and you are enjoying this tutorial, remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any new tutorial, reviews, and free patterns that I bring every week. And another possibility for you to support my work so I can keep doing it, which is something that I love to teach, and I love when you give me valuable feedback regarding these videos. So if you really want me to keep doing it, you can also subscribe to my email. You can also subscribe to my newsletter to keep updated on the behind the scenes, and who knows, maybe help me decide on the next video and the next tutorial that I'll bring here for the channel. So tip number 6, use a cardboard. Well, this tip is very, very simple. When I started crocheting my amigurumis, I used this tip quite a lot. You see that this material here is very hard. It does not bend that easily, and I'm putting like lots of strength, and you can see that it does not bend that easily. This is, I don't know, it was just an old box that I had here at home, and I was going to throw it away, but then I was like, I had to find a good material to give examples in a video, and I found this. So I cut a small piece of the cardboard to show it in the video, and then I'll throw it away. But we always have those sort of things at home, from packages from, I don't know, we buy things on Amazon or on AliExpress, and we receive packages whenever we buy stuff, even at the supermarket. So save those things for your amigurumis, especially those hard ones, because you can cut, I don't know, let's suppose the base of the doll that you have is a round shape. You can draw with a pen or with a pencil, cut this and glue or just put at the bottom of the amigurumi, and you will have it standing alone in the end. It's very simple, but it's also very effective. And my last tip for this video is hot glue. This is also a very easy tip. Actually, all the tips that I'm giving here are very simple to be applied in the amigurumis, and they are very helpful. But this tip is something that I really like. Honestly, I don't use that in all the amigurumis because I have another way to keep my dolls standing on their own, as I mentioned before. But lots of people prefer to use the hot glue technique instead. There is a video here in the channel. It's a bit old, the video, but it's very helpful, and I received lots of good feedback on this video. I'll leave the link in the description so you can check it later in case you're interested to learn how to do that. It's just like apply hot glue at the bottom of the amigurumi, like let's suppose it's a doll. You apply hot glue in the feet of the doll, place it in the, I don't know, in a table, let it dry, and then you stuff the amigurumi. But of course, how should the feet of the doll be? It should be flat. Again, it's obvious. You won't have a doll standing on its own if it's rounded. It has to be flat, just like our feet. But now I want to hear from you. Among all the different tips that I gave today, which one is your favorite? And I also want to hear from you if you already apply any of those techniques in your amigurumis too. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to subscribe to my channel and also to my newsletter so you don't miss the behind the scenes and new tutorials that I will bring here to the channel. But now I'll leave you this video here because I'm sure you're going to like it too.